All right, here we go. What section are we on? Let's see. We are on. Okay, so we're skipping 4.3. We're skipping 4.5. We're going directly to 4.6. Okay, I hope everybody got that 4.4 quiz done. Okay, if you didn't, well, send me a message and we'll talk about it. Okay, a lot of you guys are not getting your stuff done on time, but I've already said my piece on it. Nothing I can do. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me share my screen here. There we go. Okay, so let's roll. Okay, so we got 4.6 inequalities in triangles. Okay, it's really two things that are in this section. Not too bad. Okay, so here's what I want you to write down for the blank. The sum of the lengths of two sides of a triangle must be greater than, greater that goes in that blank, greater than the length of the third side. Okay, that should make sense. The whole point of that is so we don't get any triangles looking like this. Is that a triangle? No. Okay, what about this? Is that a triangle? No. Okay, what we want to have happen is a normal triangle. In order for that to be true, boom. Okay, the sum of the lengths of the other two sides have to be greater than the length of the third. Okay, don't want any short triangles. That's not a triangle. That's the whole point of it. Okay, so here, I think we can do a general form for this. Okay, let's make it pretty simple. So let's say we have a triangle, any triangle. Let's say we have y, x, z. Okay, what this says, we have three options. Okay, we could have three options potentially because we have three sides. We don't know which side is the greatest. Okay, so let's try all three just from a variable standpoint. So let's try x plus y is greater than z. That's our first option. Our second option is, let's do, what do I have on here? X plus z is greater than y. Then our last one has to be greater than x, so it's y plus z. Let me switch colors. It's not a different color. There we go. Y plus z is greater than x. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 options. Okay, and you must check all three. All right. Okay, so here's our first example. So I'm going to give you two sides. Okay, and I want you to find the range of the possible third. Now remember, since we don't know the third side, we have to check all three. Okay, we have to check x plus y is greater than z, what we just wrote down, right? We have to check all of those. We need to figure out which one's x, y, and z. Okay, and we just got to double check. Okay, so here we go. So x is obviously going to be x. Let's say 7 is going to be y, and z is going to be 15. Sure. Okay. So let's do our first one first. So we have x plus y is greater than z. So x plus y, x is just x, y is 7, is greater than z is 15. Okay? All right, let's just set them up first without any solving right now. Okay, next one, the middle one, we have x plus z is greater than y. So we have x plus z, z is 15, remember? It's greater than y, which is 7. Because we don't know what x is. That's the whole point of doing this. And last but not least, we have y plus z is greater than x. So y is 7 plus z is 15 is greater than x. We got to set up three inequalities. Not a big deal. Okay, not at all. All right, so let's double check. Okay, so let's go through and solve for x in every one of these. Let's see what we get. Okay, so the first one we subtract 7 on both sides. We get x is greater than what? 8. X is greater than 8. Okay. Second middle one, we get subtract 15, subtract 15. We get x is greater than negative 8, right? Okay, we'll talk about that one. And last but not least, we have 22 is greater than x. Okay, so we have x is greater than negative 8. What are we going to do with that one? We got to eliminate 1. And we're kind of going to make a compound inequality here. Okay, we got to eliminate 1. Can a distance ever be negative? Can a side ever be negative? No, right? So cross that out. Okay, so we want to cross out the middle one, and we want to make a compound inequality now. So here's our range, our possibilities. X can be greater than 8, and x can be less than 22. Okay? So that's 2 options. Greater than 8, less than 22. Now, how do we write that in compound inequality? Here's how. Okay, you put the smaller one first, the one that x is greater than, so 8, x is greater than 8. Okay, that's what that means, but also less than 22. So x can be in between 8 and 22. Are we going to have an exact answer? No, it's a range, right? That's why it asks for a range. So range, what could the third side be? Okay, those problems are really, really specific, not too bad. Okay, it's the same process every time. Just find the range, and then eliminate the negative. Okay? All right, angles and sides correlate in size. That should make sense, right? The smaller the angle, the smaller the size. I don't know if I have something here. Okay, think about the pens. Look at the pens. Okay, draw an imaginary line between the 2 tips of the pens. Okay, what happens? As I decrease this angle in here, okay, as I decrease this angle, what happens to the sides? It gets smaller. Okay, that's what this is saying. The angle increases, the side increases. Okay, does that make sense? Smaller angle, smaller side. Bigger angle, bigger side. Okay, so your largest side in your triangle should always be across from your largest angle. If it's not, something's wrong. Think about right triangles. Your hypotenuse is always across from your right angle. Okay, your hypotenuse is always the longest. A squared plus c squared equals, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, that c squared is always the longest. Okay, think right triangles. Okay, anything I need you to write on the first slide? Let me double check, so I don't mess you guys up. Nope, we're good. Okay, so let's just read it. The smallest angle will be across from the smallest side. The largest side will be across from the largest angle. Okay, I just said that. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not bad. Okay, so let's add numbers of these sides. Okay, and it wants us to put the angles in order from largest to smallest. I don't know. Let's say this is 9 feet. This is 12 feet. And this is 16 feet. Remember what I just said. Smaller side across from smallest angle. Okay, where's the smallest side here? The 9, right? It's across from the smallest angle. Okay. So what's my smallest angle? B. Okay. Because that's the angle it's across from, directly across from. Draw an arrow from the side to the angle opposite it. Okay, so that's going to be our smallest. Okay, so that's farthest right because we're going largest to smallest. We're actually working backwards. It's okay. Okay, now we need the middle. Okay, 9, 12, and 16. 12 is the middle one. Once again, we draw an arrow to the angle. Now we have angle C in the middle. And last but not least, we have angle A across from the 16. Should make sense. Largest angle, largest side. Okay. All right, I got nothing else for you. That's 4.6. Pretty easy. Make sure you get the homework done. Stay on top of the homework. Quarter ends in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I think. Okay. Remember, all that homework is due once the test gets here. So if we don't want zeros, we got to get it done. All right, see you guys.